Shalom. All praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh, Hashem, Quadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and salutations to all you sincere can. And this is your brother Abawan back again with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh, Hashem, Quadash. All praises and glory is due. And let me just start by saying I'm sick and tired of this wicked ass kingdom, okay? Man, I don't know what this, and the spirit just jumped on me to do this video because recently I've been having just frustration and anger over still being in this kingdom. You wake up every morning and just realize that you're still in this wicked ass kingdom and just get mad as hell, right? For no reason. Now I'm being pissed off, I'm being for no reason. Now I'm pissed, I'm mad as hell, I'm frustrated, right? Even just ordinary hearing my name, okay, my name in the name, my government name, the name I have in the world, that's enough to just infuriate me. And the reason why is because we are still in this wicked ass kingdom. And after all, it's not written that surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. Let's get that precept, okay? And amen. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, we are in this truth. We are wise through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So this is the book of Ecclesiastes 7 verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. Right. And the reason why we are in this wicked, evil kingdom, okay? The reason why we are in this depraved, godless society, the reason why we are in this hell, this backward, primitive system, right? The reason why we are here is because who is ruling in this kingdom. The reason for this frustration, the reason for this anger is because we are being ruled over by the basest of men. So this is the book of Daniel 4 verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basest of men, which is of course Esau Edom, as you can see clearly from the rulers of this current kingdom. And before I did this video, right, the inspiration for this video is because I took like 10 whole minutes just meditating on how wicked this kingdom is. And I was just standing there, just standing there idly, completely lost in thought, just thinking about the depths of depravity, the depths of wickedness in this kingdom. And it's like, damn, I have to do a video on this because the spirit just put me in that situation. I have to do a video on this. And even the scriptures goes into this as well, that the level of wickedness that will be, or that we will see or experience in this kingdom. So I want to start with the book of Proverbs 29 verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Right. And the whole earth right now is in mourning. Let me get that precept. Let's see if I can get that, okay? Just to show you that what the scriptures say, is coming to pass, okay? So here it is. So this is the book of Isaiah 24 verse 4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away, the world languisheth and fadeth away, the haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, and broken the everlasting covenant. Right. And just like the scriptures say, okay, when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And it's not just the people, man, even the animals, even the plants, all creation groaneth and travaileth together. That's Romans the 8th chapter, okay? And hey, just like you read in this precept, man, Esau Edom has changed the laws, broken the everlasting covenants, right? Changed the ordinances that the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai set up on the earth. And basically what he has done is, as it is written as well, let's get that precept, right? Folly is set in great dignity. Let's get that. What he has done is now Ecclesiastes 10 verse 6. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. Right. Basically what this devil has done is that, but he has promoted wickedness. his wickedness, and he has promoted this as, you know, some as you know, has promoted it as the progressive way, right? That's the thing that he uses, the ways of progress, by pushing his wickedness, his wayward doctrines and philosophies, right? The wine of Babylon the Great is seen as something that is progressive, not something that is, that civilized people do. Is a mark of Esau's civilization. But this is the most wicked civilization, right, that we have on the earth. That's why if you go to the book of Daniel, the second chapter, when he speaks about this civilization, comparing it, where you have that statue, right, that massive statue that Daniel saw, where the top of the statue was made of gold, and the bottom of the statue, the feet of the statue, was made of stone and iron, rather clay and iron. Okay, we're not talking about, because basically that is showing you is that Esau's kingdom is the worst kingdom, right? The worst rulership, the worst civilization to ever rule on the earth. That out of all the civilizations that have ruled in the past, Esau's is the worst. And just because you dumbasses out here have your bread and circuses, right? You have all these shiny tools and all these, different devices that you can use to distract yourself from just how wicked your kingdom is. You think that this kingdom is so great that, we are living it better than any, body ever did in the past. And of course you are, because you Edomites have always been the basest of men. So for the first time you are ruling in this kingdom, so of course you are living better than your ancestors were. But everybody else, right, was living and doing far better than you Edomites in their own kingdoms. But you devils came with your wickedness and completely turned the earth upside down. And that's why we're in the condition that we're in right now. That's why this place is so wicked, so demonic, so evil. Okay? That's why every single day, right? Let's get that precept. No justice, no righteousness on this earth. Even to the point where even the law, right? Esau is always out here talking about some constitution, American way, right? We have to follow the law, we have to do this and that. But even that law is being slacked, because Esau will come out and tell you about how, the world is built on these principles that the white man created. And if you ask Esau, what principles are that? Christianity, love, and he'll call all these positive things, basically mentioning all the fruits of the spirit. But he does not have those qualities. Okay? And let me just cue that precept up, so I don't forget it. The fruits of the spirit. Let me cue that precept up. I'm going to go to that as well and show what I'm talking about. But Esau doesn't have those qualities. Okay. So now, Habakkuk 1 verse 4. Therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth. For the wicked doth compass about the righteous. Therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. Right. Because the wicked are in authority. That's why the wicked have compassed the righteous, and that's why there is no judgment, no justice in this kingdom. Okay, that's why you have a two-tier system: rules for thee, but not for me. The rules for Jake, rules for the heathen, and different rules for Esau, Edom. That's why the state of Israel can bomb what's his face, Gaza and these Hamites, and it's like not the Hamites, but the Ishmaelites over there, they blow them up to kingdom come. Till now, they are still dropping bombs on them and still, continuing the G side. But yet, nobody is saying anything, against them, right? And it is completely swept under the rug. The death and destruction that Esau, Edom causes all over the earth. Okay, but let's a man of the Lord go out to the highways and byways and preach about the downfall and the destruction of Esau, Edom, and preach that the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to make sure that you devils pay for that. Let brothers go out to the highways and byways and say that the so-called white man is the devil, even seeing all the things that he's doing on the earth. Preaching hate, the Hebrew Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites this, the Hebrew Israelites that. So then everybody's going crazy because we are telling people out here in this world that the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is not going to acquit Esau for his wickedness. But suddenly we are the ones that are, in the wrong. You have these devils, bombing people all over the earth, rape, robbery, and murder. death and destruction all over the world, oppressing our people, oppressing you Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. The long history of Esau's oppression and Esau's evil, Esau's treachery, and his lack of even common human decency towards our people. But yeah, Jake never recognizes that, right? You rather so like, yeah, you would rather talk about, oh, the Hebrew Israelites, right? Look at what the Hebrew Israelites are doing. You Jakes aren't Israelites, you're West Africans, okay? Rather mock and scoff at the men of the Lord for coming out to the highways and byways and telling you the only reason why you Jakes, why you dumbass Negroes are even woke enough to even come out here talking about some West Africans, or even woke enough to come out and keep TikTok to be saying anything, is because the men of the Lord came out here to the highways and byways and started bringing out the truth, right? The reason why you even know anything about West Africa, any of these great kingdoms that were built up in West Africa, was it not because the Hebrew Israelites are bringing it out? Was it not because of from books like From Babylon to Timbuktu, basically chronicling the legacy of our people, going from being forced to flee Judea, all over, they're being forced to flee Judah at the time, coming over here, right? Is it not because of the men of the Lord bringing out all this information, telling you dumbass Negroes about all these books, that you are even able to go into this information and bring out more about what happened here in West Africa and all these great West African kingdoms, which really they don't matter, because knowing about the kingdoms here in West Africa isn't going to deliver you, but rather knowing about your true heritage, your true nationality as an Israelite, that is what is going to save you, okay? But like I said, what you have is these devils, basically, as it is written, that no marvel, for Satan disguised himself as an angel of the light. And that's what these devils do. They speak about how basically they are Edomites, so-called white culture, right? It's all about spreading love and Christian and basically Christian values, right? Our white Christian values. Well, we know exactly what Christian values are without the veil of deception that Esau puts on it: rape, robbery, murder, unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches go by deceit, stealing, killing, and destroying. Okay, so this is the book of Galatians 5, verse 19. Now the work of the flesh are manifest, which are these, which is exactly what these devils, okay, what Esau Edom promotes and what he is good at, right? Adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness. Hey, like the scriptures say, Esau is a base man, okay? And we know about the history of the unhygienic natures of Esau Edom and the adultery and the fornication, right? In fact, the sexual deviancy, okay, and also the idolatry, right? The fornications that Esau does and the blasphemies that Esau speaks against the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. When you come out and try to say that, oh, you have more understanding than the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Let me get that precept. Let me get that precept. I've forgotten how that precept goes. I've forgotten how that precept goes. I believe is thou shalt be esteemed as the potter's vessel. I can't remember how that precept goes. Now, what that precept goes? Let me try and look for it. And I can't find our precepts. The esteemed porter. Here it is. This is what I'm looking for. Isaiah 20. So this is the book of Isaiah 29, verse 15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from Yahweh, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? Right. I'm saying is that Esau isn't trying to hide his works from the Most High Yahweh Basham Yahushai, because these devils don't even believe that the Most High Yahweh Basham Yahushai will punish them, right? Or don't even believe that the Most High Yahweh Basham Yahushai will reward them for their wickedness. Basically, their mindset right now is not even who seeth us or who knoweth us, rather who can stop us, right? Because these devils, they are proud. They've basically gotten high on their own, deceit. Okay, and now they believe that they can't even be stopped, right? That ultimately that ultimately their goals and the NWO, the Great Reset, and the agenda that they are pushing for will be a success. But this is the book of Isaiah 29, verse 16. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he hath no understanding? This is exactly what Esau Edom does, right? That's why, as the scriptures say, they changed the laws, they changed the ordinances, and broke the everlasting covenant, because they believe that they are more wise than the Most High Yahweh Sham Yahushai. Esau, of course, they believe that they are wiser than the Most High. They have more understanding than the Most High Yahweh Sham Yahushai, which is of course going off, and which is of course clearly not true, right? Because as it's written that the weakness, right, of the Most High Yahweh Sham Yahushai is greater than the strength of. Let me get that precept. So this is the book of 1 Corinthians 1, verse 25. Because the foolishness of the Most High is wiser than men, and the weakness of the Most High is stronger than men. Right. And these devils, they think that they can. Let me just get that precept. That I will go to the sides of the north. I will surpass. Right, let's get that precept. So this is the book of Isaiah 14, verse 13. Let me start from the top. Isaiah 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. Right, and the stars, of course, refer to Jake, okay? You Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. After all, it's not written that it is wandering stars, right? Let's get that precept. Wandering stars. So this, let's see. Let me just be sure I'm the correct one. Let me just make sure I'm getting the correct precepts. Wandering stars. Okay. So this is the book of Jude 1, verse 1. Woe unto them, for they have gone in the way of Cain, and ran greedily after the error of Balaam for reward, and perished in the gainsaying of Corey. These are spots in your feast of charity, when they feast with you, feeding themselves without fear. Clouds they are without water, carried about of wind, trees whose fruit withereth with trees whose fruit withereth, without fruit, twice dead, plucked up by the roots. And of course, he's speaking about, the two-thirds of our people, jakes that fall out, jakes that bug out, or jakes that just straight up are never in this truth. Okay, raging waves of the sea, foaming out of their own shame, wandering stars, to whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. Right, and the darkness here is referring to being, to a lack of understanding. Right, basically, being in the congregation of the dead, because they don't have any understanding of this truth, they will be in utter darkness, because darkness refers to the lack of the knowledge, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So you are in darkness, okay? No enlightenment, basically. So let's go back to this Galatians, the fifth chapter. Like I said, these are the qualities of Esau, man. His true nature of this devil, because they are the basest of men. They are the most wicked nation on the earth, and now that they are in rulership, look at how degenerate, right? Look at how regressive their kingdom is. Look at all the ideologies and all the doctrines that Esau pushes, right? Whether it is feminism, whether it's the alternative lifestyle, whether it's the diet, the science, the law, the governance, the politics, the technology, biology, all these things, as they pushes, they are so regressive. Okay, they are so, aside from how wicked they are, right? They are so regressive that because of this devil's rulership, it is a guarantee that we have gone back in time, right? We have regressed. This world, this kingdom, and these people have regressed so much because of Esau's rulership, and the earth has been destroyed so much because of Esau's rulership. That's why this kingdom is the way that it is. That's why the judgments of the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai are pelting this place are pelting this kingdom every single day. But Esau will say, "Oh, it's climate change. Oh, it's climate change. Things are changing on the earth. And why are they changing? Why is there? Why are these things happening?" They are the judgments of the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai because of Esau's rulership and because of Esau's wickedness. It's a whole trash island, for God's sake, out there in the middle of the ocean, right? Microplastics inside everybody's body, because because that's how wicked these devils are, right? That's why the scriptures call him the man of sin, the son of perdition, because Esau is the devil, okay? And this devil has to go. This devil must be taken down, right? That's what I was just thinking about, right? Just sitting there like, these devils are a stain upon this world. They are a stain upon this planet, man. They are a stain upon this kingdom, and they are especially a stain upon our people. The fact that they rule, every second that Esau is in rulership, it's another second of wickedness fulfilling of this whole earth, and it's another second of suffocating hell for our people in this kingdom. This is not this is not living, man. This is hell, okay? This wicked, living in this wicked ass kingdom, going through, going through day by day in this wicked ass kingdom, having to be under the rulership of a base devil like Esau, that has no understanding, right? I'm looking at the science that I'm seeing in this kingdom. Now I remember why I was so frustrated, right? I was watching this video about this dude trying to justify being a transformer, using science, right? Because that's what Esau Edom does. Let's get that preset. That's why I was so mad. Now I remember. Because one thing about me, man, I love me some science, okay? I love me some science, man. Whenever I'm studying, and doing the studying on these sciences that Esau is pushing, there is a lot of separating the meat from the bones, because there are so much bones, right? Because these devils have basically gone off and created their own fan theory, right? Their own fake pseudoscience about the origins of this universe and how all things came to be. And just simple deductive reasoning is enough to show that that Esau doesn't understand what is going on. Esau doesn't know what he's talking about, man. Esau's science isn't even real science, it's just pure wickedness, and it's all speculation. So 1 Timothy 6 verse 20, O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science falsely so called. And that's exactly what it is. So you had this dude that was arguing. Basically, what he was saying was that, oh, well, having transformers, right, in women's sports, basically the man that changes his plumbing. So having them in women's sports won't impact the female sport. It won't change anything, right? Because and the argument was that, oh, this is an understudied field. Man, I was so frustrated. I shut that video off. You know, I just shut that video off and I just left it one side. And then a few minutes later, I was just raging that this devil is so wicked. This devil, that this devil needs to be taken out. This devil is a plague on this universe, man. This devil is a plague on this world, and it must be removed. Okay, and that's why the Messiah, the Messiah, Sham Yahushai, must visit the earth that he has created and must bring destruction upon this kingdom. And amen. I concluded with the thought that, Lord willing, I pray to be a part of the destruction, right? After all, it's not written that Mosiah, however, Sham Yahushai shall send hunters, and I shall hunt them from, let's get that precept, Jeremiah 16 verse 16. And I think I'll close out with this. So this is the book of Jeremiah 16 verse 16. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith Yahweh, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. Right, so right now we are in the time of the fishers, where you have the men of the Lord going out to the highways and byways, doing the Satan and the videos, to edify the elect of the nation of Israel. Lord willing, will be a part of that number. But eventually, man, at the return of our Lord Yahweh, you will have hunters, and the job of those hunters, that's why Jake will have those spiritual powers, right, and be digging out, the elites of Esau, Edom, from all the places that they have hidden themselves, and bring them before our Lord Yahweh, so in order to put them in captivity. And it's going to be beautiful, man. And Lord willing, of course, I be a part of that number, right? Hey, so with that, I'll end the video right there. Once again, all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Rakakodash, Wa Abad Babal, and through the Spirit of Yakim, and you are quite edified. Shalom.